It is now time for the Seetec Plus, and it certainly does come around quickly. But we do love to hear all about the good things going on at Seetec Plus and Plus, and this week is no exception to that. So today we are going to be looking at a couple of success stories with participants who have benefited from the JETS program with Seetec Plus. Shortly, we will be speaking to James, who has had a complete change of career thanks to the help of the JETS program. But first of all, we are going to meet our first two guests. We are joined by Paulina, who is a JETS participant, and her employment advisor, Pamela George. So welcome to you both.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. So
thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, exactly.
Anytime. So I want to jump straight in with you guys, and maybe if I start off with you, Paulina, perhaps you can start. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to get on board with the JETS program with Seetec Plus.
So actually, I've been introduced to the program by my Universal Credit work coach, and because I more or less knew what I wanted, which way I wanted to go with my career, he said it could be a good way for me to start and support me with my further development. He arranged a meeting for me with one of the JETS program staff and members, and they explained to me how it works, in which way I can be supported. And just the variety of support that the program provides, it seemed really like something I could not say no to. So they support anything from like the mental, to the qualifications and the financial aspects of moving on with your life. And it just seemed like something I would like to give a go, and I was really pleased actually with it from the start. I achieved way more than I actually expected from it.
Amazing. And I guess that's where we sort of bring Pamela in, because Pamela, you are an employment advisor on the JETS program, and of course you've been helping Paulina on her journey. Can you explain a little introduction to yourself as well, and just tell us a bit about your role and the support you offer?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm an employment advisor on the JETS program, and the JETS program stands for Job Entry Targeted Support. So my role is obviously to provide participants like Paulina targeted support and to help them obviously eventually gain a job entry in a role. What happens is, first of all, they come via one of our amazing assistant employment advisors, and they help onboard them onto the programme. And then they're allocated an employment advisor like myself. So my role is really to provide regular support. So every 2 weeks or even between that time, myself and Paulina have regular telephone calls, and we discuss her skills, her personal circumstances, her work applications, and also any potential barriers that we can maybe support with. And what we do is we structure it into what's called an action plan review. And basically that just means that we set some targets, and those targets are SMART. So that means that they're specific and tailored to the participant like Paulina. They're measurable, so the participant can really see how their journey is going. They're also attainable and realistic, and they're also timed as well, so they can actually get the satisfaction from when they've completed that target. And really, in our role, we're really here to just instill that confidence and discuss and break down any barriers and offer support where that might be, and that comes in various forms.
Fantastic. And obviously throwing it sort of back towards you, Paulina, hearing Pamela explain that, are you happy to sort of share some of the personal support that you've received, and maybe sort of tell us what's been the most beneficial thing to you?
Yeah, of course. So I have received a great deal of support, and Pamela has been there for me in really difficult times as well. And she's been very much attuned to my struggles and my needs, and helped me when when I was too scared to ask for help. We've been provided with like food vouchers when we needed them. She's directed me to various places to reduce costs of food and living. I've been allocated to trainings and workshops, even with short notice. So, and I was offered an interview. Pamela helped me to get onto workshops immediately to help me prepare towards the interview. And really all of the staff at Jets were extremely supportive and encouraging. They showed genuine interest and care about my progress and success. They contributed to the growth of my confidence and my well-being. I believe like the whole journey with Pamela has really helped me to improve my everyday life. And when I think about how, I was at the start of us working together and how I am now, like my life has changed immensely. And I have been offered a job and actually from bank staff now to a permanent employee. I still take advantage of available courses. And yeah, Pamela's also ensured me that I'll get a lot of help with the first month of me working. So, the program basically secures you. So you can start, you can go back to working. Yeah.
Fantastic. Wow. Oh, well, first of all, congrats on the job. That's amazing. And it's so nice to hear you sort of say, explaining a little bit more about that support, because it's not just about finding a job. It is about building the confidence and the well-being and the things you mentioned there. So yeah, I'm really happy for you. Pamela, can I throw it to you? Obviously, Paulina has mentioned there how she's benefited and the support that she's received through the JETS program. Can you tell us a little bit more about any other support that JETS can offer, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, in addition to the support that Pauline has already mentioned, so we have a fantastic team, a fantastic number of teams behind the scenes, and it wouldn't be possible without all of the teams, all of the management, all of the staff to make it possible. So first and foremost, we have our employability and our digital trainers. So we have employability trainers that cover support with CVs, cover letters, interview preparations, confidence building. They also deliver the sector insights, which are really, really popular at the moment. So it gives participants an insight into maybe a new sector that they're not too sure about, or they're kind of interested in finding more about. So, for example, security, hospitality, lots of different ones. And they're really popular at the moment. And then we have our digital trainers, which without them, our participants couldn't set up their devices. They learn about how to use video conferencing like we're doing today, so Microsoft Teams. They learn about all of the different Microsoft Office packages. And they also run a session about the Seetec Plus portal, where participants log in, they can track their journey, they can search for jobs. So they deliver a session in that. We also have our exec club as well for participants that have a previous salary of 40,000 or have been in a professional or executive position previously. We also really pride ourselves in our pre-work support. So this includes the Better Health Generation and our own in-house wellbeing team, so they can really support participants whilst they're on the programme. Also, like Paulina was saying, after work, we have our Work Fit team, and they're amazing. They're a listening ear service, and they provide one-to-one support and to help participants get that right work-life balance when they're obviously in employment, because that's really crucial, because when you do start work, it can be a real shock to the system, like for anyone. And then lastly, really, we have our employment engagement team that are out kind of sourcing partnerships with leading and local companies. So they're sourcing interviews and job opportunities. We have our self-employment team as well. So if there's participants that have got a previous business plan or have tried to start up their own business or are interested in that, They're an amazing team. They can help guide participants with their business plan journey. And we also, as Paulina has mentioned as well, we have participants where we support them with their funding, whether this is, food or travel costs, technology, so their laptops, smart devices. And we can also help with external training and equipment as well. So, yeah, it's really amazing what we can offer.
It is. And as well, Pamela, sort of just sticking with you there, if anyone's watching today and thinking, oh, that sounds up my street, like what are the requirements to access the programme?
Yeah, so they're basically really easy to remember. So the entry requirements for JETS is that a participant like Paulina needs to have been unemployed or in receipt of a universal credit for at least 13 weeks. So if you are listening to this, speak to your work coach and, when you're at your universal credit, your job centre appointments. So, and it is a one-off programme. So once you are onboarded, you can only do the programme once, but there are similar programmes that naturally lead on from this as well. So, yeah, that's the...
Brilliant. And Paulina, obviously you've mentioned already you've found employment now. You've sort of started this journey, and Pamela supported you throughout. What are you most looking forward to, sort of moving forward with your future in this employment?
Yeah, so it feels like I've been ready for quite some time to move on the universal credit, but I just didn't have the right support and guidance, I suppose, which Pamela has beautifully provided. And I look forward to gaining back actually the control over my life and starting to give back, to the society, all of this beautiful support that I have received. I have been literally filled up with so much support from Pamela that it will be just nice to now share it back with people. And I feel very grateful for, that opportunity and be part of JETS. It's been truly amazing, and I don't think I can recommend it enough, actually. So if you're wondering about whether to start or not, I would say, yes, go ahead. It's like there's literally nothing you can lose, and you can gain a lot.
Oh, that's so nice. Sort of a real success story, and clearly the relationship between you guys and the support that you've sort of shared between you, it is lovely. Pamela, going back to you, it must be so nice to see how much Paulina's benefited from the JETS programme, obviously with the support that you've provided. Have you noticed a difference and an increase in Paulina's confidence?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was going to say from that very, very first phone call, but I knew what I want to say is I always knew it was in Paulina. It was always there. It just needed, the self-confidence and that belief just needed sort of coaching out again. And I knew she had the sort of the skills and the strength and the resilience. And actually, this is why we do our jobs, because it is like participants like Paulina that makes us get up in the morning and enjoy our jobs. Paulina has made this journey for me really, really special. She's listened, she's gone away, she's asked questions, she's been inquisitive, and I've learned from Paulina. And every time I work with a participant, I feel that I learn from them just as much as I feel I can support them. And it does, even listening to Paulina makes me feel without sounding, I'm very, very proud of her. And I knew that, and she will be able to instill this journey and all of her knowledge with her colleagues and everyone that she goes on to work with in her next job. And it's just amazing, really is amazing.
Oh, such a lovely story. And thank you guys for joining us today and for sharing all of that with us. It's lovely, and I'm so happy for you that it's worked out for you, Paulina, and the support that you've provided, Pamela. So yes, thank you so much for joining us. There's been lots of other people as well who have benefited from the JETS programme. So we have a few inspirational quotes now from people who have been very satisfied with the service. Brilliant stuff there. Next up, we are going to be joined by James Williams now, who has also benefited from the JETS program, which has actually led him to a completely different change in direction in his career. James worked as a salesperson for many years up until recently. So let's introduce James, find out a little bit about what he's up to now. Hopefully you're with us now. Hello, James.
Hi, Ross. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good.
Good.
That's what we like to hear. So, James, obviously, thank you for joining us today. You look like you're in a similar environment, almost close to us here in a sense. There we go.
Yeah. Do you want a little tour?
I would love a tour. Let's have a comparison, shall we?
I'll do. I'll turn around. So this is Andover Radio, and also Salisbury Radio. So if I come out, we got studios here.
Nice.
Which is that's where we have guests in.
Okay.
And we've got this show on pre-record at the moment because one of our presenters is off with the dreaded Miley Cyrus coronavirus. And then I come in here. Sorry, it's a bit jerky. Hang on, let me do that. And so I'm sat in a radio studio as well, basically.
Amazing. This is like some kind of weird inception going on here.
What's happened there?
Where are you two? You're there. You're sorted.
Hang on, there you go. Back. We're back. We're back.
So, James,
can
you tell us a little bit then? You've given us a nice little tour there. How did you find yourself in this new creative role?
Well, basically, I'm 43. For the best part of 20 years, I spent it touring with bands and writing music, and then I worked on super yachts and worked for a media company. Oh, hang on, my alarm's going off. Sorry.
It's all right, don't worry.
Sorry, that was my alarm to tell me I'm meant to be in this interview. So basically, sorry about that. What happened was lockdown happened. Yachts couldn't move. Companies obviously weren't spending on marketing. And I spent basically the best part of 18 months on furlough. And then the company. So that was then followed by, obviously, the job centre trying to get you back into work. And then they referred me to Seetec and the JETS program. And I was applying for jobs because obviously not working for me is, it's something I can't do. It's just a nightmare. And it affects obviously your mental health and everything else. And I then got put in touch with a lady called Annette Walcott on the JETS team at Seetec. And she helped me with CV writing and my LinkedIn profile and gave me some guidelines. Applied for jobs and started getting a better success rate than what I was doing before. And here I am, basically. And that's how I've come into this role as a commercial director at Andover Radio. So I'm in a media role, which is something I'm used to. I'm learning about the broadcasting side of it, which is useful as well. It's quite a community-based initiative. We have basically the best part of 20,000 listeners on a daily basis within a local catchment area there. And we have Salisbury as well. We do a newspaper, social media, Instagram, a lot of the things that I'm used to doing already.
Yeah.
And it all really stemmed out of me applying for the role on Indeed. It was the second thing I applied for. And it was in the time I was with the JETS program, it took about 2 weeks, which was basically brilliant. And then they got me in and now here I am.
Here you are. Look at you with your setup and everything. So talking about the JETS, the JETS program in particular, you mentioned there that they provided you with some support with your CV, for example. Other than that, what's been the most beneficial thing working with the program?
I think the good thing is, Annette and our big Annette Walcott up quite a lot, actually, because every week she's very kind, she's very supportive, she's on your side. they sort of, I think the way she did it, it gives you a bit of confidence back. And obviously, when you've been on the shelf, so to speak, for 18 months, and you get tired of applying for jobs, and you're thinking, why am I not getting interviews when I've got a good CV of professional and director level roles? And it was just generally the support you give on a week by week basis, and it basically pushes you into sort of taking ownership of the situation again. And it's just like a breath of fresh air, really, for me, certainly. And I think what they do with it is, I refuse to believe at 43 years old I would be on the shelf and not, able to go back into work. But I think after everything, that was certainly just the support and the actual chatting to someone on a week by week basis, I think was very beneficial.
Absolutely. Certainly. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us could have prepared for obviously the last couple of years and the situations we've all been in. So, like you said, sometimes it is just having someone to talk to, a bit of support, whether that gives confidence, encouragement, a bit of advice, and some upskilling, and then here you are. Would you say that any of your skills from your previous job have helped you in this new role?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I was in media sales for the best part of 10, 12 years prior to lockdown. And obviously the music side of it as well, it's actually the perfect role for me. I feel like I've really landed on my feet with it. We've got a great team here. Obviously it helps that it's a very local community, as was the yachting industry. It's in terms of my understanding of media, it's not really taught me any new being this job. It's something where naturally I was probably a really good fit as a candidate for them, but certainly what Jets did with my CV, and that certainly put more emphasis on the things that were important to Andover Radio when they were employing me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've touched briefly on there the fact that you are a bit of a musician yourself. Obviously, working in radio now, it all ties in nicely. Like you said, is it does. Is it inspiring you to make some new music?
I'm launching an album. I basically wrote for a record label for a few years, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to put my own stuff out. And over the time I've been here, they're quite good actually, because I can use a local studio called Sunrise Studios, where the guys there are brilliant producers. So yeah, it just seems like suddenly, in the space of, if I think back, where are we now? We're at the end of May. If I think back to about mid-March and how disheartened and annoyed I was about things in comparison to where I am now, it's quite a remarkable turnaround. And yeah, it is very inspiring. It does make you do a lot of things more positively. So yeah, I'd say that's a good news story in itself.
Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds like you are one of the good news stories, and I'm so glad you're in a role now where you're clearly passionate, and it links into all the things all the things you say about. So you must be buzzing, and I presume like your confidence, your overall well-being, everything is on the up.
Yeah. It's things like I've just done a deal with a local leisure centre who have opened up they've opened up a whole new mini golf complex for the school holidays, and I love golf. So I'll be down there having a laugh, doing a photo shoot with some of the team for a team building event. And they've given me a free membership for 3 months to the local leisure centre, which I did as part of the deal, just, to throw in. And then I'm going to be documenting getting fitter on social media, which is something that I haven't done for 4 or 5 years. So yeah, there's loads of little positives that sort of come out of it. But the main one is just being out again and talking to people and talking to other businesses and doing something that can benefit them, but on a real it's not on a, buy some advertising basis. It's a really good community ethic about it, and I'm going to be getting people in on a local show. And I just really feel that it's a job where, all right, I'm earning money again, but it's a great job where I'm re-establishing human connections with people again, and that's important to me. So yeah, it's ticking a lot of boxes, although I don't think I'll be saying that when I'm on a running machine tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, coughing up a lung. But yeah, it's definitely brought a lot of benefits.
Oh, good. And
So
just
I'm very grateful to you.
on a final note, what would you say to anyone who's potentially thinking about joining the JETS program and launching themselves into a new sort of creative role?
I would say to them to utilise the experience that's available to you. I think there'll be a lot of people that go into the JETS program who have probably either ran their own businesses or they've sort of scratched and scraped and been out of work for a while. And I'd say that I completely understand how disheartening that is for those who have lost jobs. And I would say there are so many industries out there where employment levels are crying out for staff. If you've a good example would be the hospitality industry, for instance, where there are, there's an abundant skills shortage in that at the moment. So if you're looking for a career or a chance to retrain, if you've always fancied being a chef, or you've had enough and you want to get out the rat race, there are so many different things out there at the moment for you where you can retrain, reskill. And I think lockdown has given a lot of people the time to sort of take stock of their life. Am I happy getting up and doing what I'm doing in the morning? Or what is it that I've always done? What's that itch that I might want to scratch where I haven't written a book, done this, done that, learned new skills on how to market yourselves on social media? Whilst it's a lot of people would look at it as a glass is half empty, I would say it's definitely half full from that aspect if you want to get out and retrain and reskill. And the team at JETS certainly will give you the chance to do that.
Brilliant. What a lovely little summary.
And they'll be very they'll be very supportive along the way.
Good. Fantastic stuff there. And James, thank you so much for speaking with us and sharing your story with us today. And best of luck with everything, with the radio, and yeah, just good luck with it all.
And you, the one thing I say is I'm going to have to ask him for a chair like yours. It looks far more comfortable than the one I'm sat on.
Oh, I can recline. I can do the lot,
Yeah.
James,
I like the mood lighting as well, Ross. It's quite fetching.
It's all right, isn't it? We've done well, but thank you so much for speaking with us.
Have a good time. Have a good week down in Cornwall. Enjoy the Jubilee, and thanks for having me on.
Anytime. Good luck, and thank you very much, James. There we have it. Brilliant stuff.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So nice to hear from sort of some success stories from the Seetec Plus and Plus JETS program. Yeah, just lovely to see all the different support and that available. And if anyone's watching today and would like to get involved in the program, of course, here at Chaos, we can signpost you to all the contact details. So if you want to contact us, and we can pass your details on. So as always, our contact details, you can message us on WhatsApp or give us a call on 01872 228844. You can email us on hello@thisischaos.co.uk, or if you'd rather message us via social media, you can we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter @Chaos TV UK. And yeah, just fantastic stuff.